back to Saxthorpe Farms, and I have finished the sunflower harvesting contract that you will have seen me do. In fact, I think we are just finishing up the very end of it. You can see a course place running the combine there. So that is done, and I have taken on a soybean harvesting contract. So the nice thing about it being soybeans is both combines can get to work. So the combine does need a repair. It's only 77 quid. So I'm trying to keep on top of maintenance as I can. I really need a mobile repair and fueling option. I had a look at the field service trailer, which I might throw in. Or I might get one of the many pickups that has that as an option. So because we have the bushel plus on the back of the combines, I can't tow the header trailers. I don't know if you guys remember that. So I am going to use the little tiny Deutz to take one of them up there. And I think I end up bringing back one of the other tractors, or I might even have one in the yard to send the second one up. So this is the first video of this series I've done like this, where I'm doing the commentary after the gameplay. I had a kind of manic end to last week, and this video is not going to come out until the middle of the week, which sounds kind of weird, but I had a pretty manic end to last week and got to the point where I had no videos stacked up recorded, which is why there wasn't a video yesterday. So yeah, I'm towing the other header up, I think, on the back of the 7240. Yeah. We're going to just drop the corn header here and then forget to take it back. Bit of foreshadowing there. So that it just saved running this combine back down to the yard. It's got a decent amount of fuel. It's in reasonable repair. And with two combines, it's not going to take very long to harvest this field of soybeans. So, yeah. It was a bit of a manic end to the week. So I recorded this over the weekend. Those of you that are new to the channel, generally, if I record over the weekend, I just record gameplay. I don't usually record voice, although that is sometimes not the case. So this allowed me to get a video out easier around work and life and stuff, and keep the series moving, basically. So obviously going to set courseplay up in a moment. I did ask in the last video, I think, about the best way to present all the contracts and stuff, and I'm just going to carry on doing what I've been doing, I think. So you'll see bits of the contracts while I get on with other jobs, and in particular today's job is to plant the oats. So last time we ploughed in the spuds, so 21 grand for that crash count +1. Always pay attention when you're driving. Do not, I guess that's the equivalent of using a tablet and driving. So yeah, 21 grand for the soybean sunflower contract, and a bunch of sunflowers is really profitable. You can see I've got Simple Inspector running, and it's going to take half an hour for courseplay to run the harvesting contract, which is pretty good because it's probably what it'll take us to do this seeding. Just filling up with seed and fertilizer. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on showing a mixture. Sometimes I might just show the the kind of numbers at the end. Sometimes I will show some of the process as I go through. So we're going to get the oats. The plan is to get the oats seeded and the field rolled before the end of October. Seems reasonable, doesn't it? So we'll get cracking. Again, just in case people are curious, I am using enhanced vehicle. That's what adds the HUD above the speedo and stuff, and it's what I'll be using for GPS later. If things have gone well this week, yesterday I will have released a video looking at what I think are all of the GPS options. I may have missed some. I did ask on my Discord, and I think there are 3 main GPS options. So I thought it would be interesting to run through those. Hopefully I have got that recorded in time. So it's another quite busy week here. I'm recording this on Monday morning before getting stuck into work. I ideally need to try and record about 3 videos today around a full day at work, which will be interesting, and edit and upload all of those videos. We will see. So there may still have been a gap in the Timberborn videos at the moment this week, which for some of you probably don't care. Some of you enjoy them, so I enjoy playing it. I did not scan that corner of the field. I might bring the soil sampler over and just grab that. So at the moment I'm running automatic fert application so that we get pretty much perfect, not perfectly perfect. I can see this being a series where in the future I'm running the crop sensors and doing perfectly perfect. I think these huge fields might make it worthwhile. Not sure. I mean, realistically the gain you get is small. You'll see later on, actually, we will need to come and spray this field anyway, so I may put the crop sensors on so that we get perfectly perfect fertilizing, because we may as well get the little bit extra if we're going to have to do it anyway. This is the only crop that I'm planning to plant before spring. So through winter we'll be doing all of the field prep. Some of these field prep jobs are going to take a long time. Something that I'm realizing just from seeding this field, I've realized that 6-meter implements on here are going to be a challenge. Now my goal is to double up implements. So we've got the two 7 series now. We've got the 7250 and the 7240. And ideally, I think we'll be getting a second seeder, second plough, second cultivator, so that these field working jobs are much quicker to do. I might get a different plough when I get the second plough, so that I can do ploughing contracts with it. I'm actually contemplating breaking out the sheety plough. I might not. I prefer not to use the GT plough, but there are limitations to some of these big fields, and we're going to be getting into all of the big fields on here. Not to mention if we ever take a trip on over to the Oaks. So I did set the Oaks save up ready. So for those that have not forgotten, longer term on here, to help keep money flowing in, if there aren't any contracts on here, we will head on over to the Oaks. The Oaks is about a 40-minute drive from Saxthorpe, so we long term I do plan to branch out to contracting further south. I think it's further south, so yeah. Run a couple headlands and then we'll get stuck in to the up down rows with a bit of GPS. There was something I wanted to chat about. I've kind of forgot. Yeah, for those of you that are following along, I guess the migraine situation is continuing. So I have, over the last 2 days, I have slightly upped the medication that I'm on. You may remember I started on the recommended dose from the GP, and the side effects were making me feel were not worth the price on the good days in my mind. So I halved the dose, and the side effects pretty much went away. But it's not controlling my migraines enough. So yesterday I started upping the dose. So hopefully the side effects will be manageable still, and I can close in on nailing it, because I am in the hour 36 of the latest ongoing kind of wave of migrainage. Comes and goes. Let's say those that suffer with migraines, technically what I have was diagnosed as cluster headaches. And more often than not, these days I was getting like a single and it would go away, but this is coming up on 36 hours of repeated hits, and it was frustrating. I had so much I wanted to get done yesterday. I needed to mow the lawn, so we'll come on to the lawn. I needed to mow the lawn, a few other jobs around the house, and I didn't get any of it done because everything hurt. So going on to the lawn. So again, regulars to the channel will know that we have 4 dogs. 4 dogs, 2 of which are quite large, and they destroy grass. So we ended up by winter last year with pretty much no grass in the back garden. Maybe a 50% coverage at best. And over the last few years, most springs I have tried to reseed some of the grass, but the problem is that as soon as the dogs get back on it, they kill it. So I've split the garden in half, and again, I have done that in the past. I've split the garden in half, but I've tried to rush and get some grass growing and then move to the other side and get some grass growing. And by the time you get back, half of it's dead again. So what I've done this year is I'm focusing on one side, and I've seeded it. I seeded it, rolled it all in, all that jazz, and a decent amount grew back, but I wasn't really happy with the coverage. So after the first time I mowed it, I went again. We have really bad soil here. We have very clayey soil, so each time I've been putting topsoil on. So I did another batch of topsoil and more seed and got really good growth. And then when I mowed it last weekend, I patched a few more bits, and that's all growing in now. So I'm hoping that when I was going to mow it yesterday, but I didn't because my head was hurting. When I looked out this morning, actually there were some nice little fresh shoots of grass, so I'm going to leave them to grow in a bit more before I mow it again. And I'm hoping within a few weeks I can actually let dogs on that side, but we'll see. Yeah, they do a lot of damage to grass. I've remembered what I wanted to talk about. So I've been playing a different game lately. It's not a game that I'm going to make videos out of, because it's really not kind of relevant to simulation even, or building or whatever. Well, it sort of is building. I've been playing Project Zomboid. I do remember how I got recommended. So it was a game. It was something that YouTube served up to me, and it came from, I was watching some. Back to the video for a sec. I was worried that we weren't going to have enough fertilizer to get around the field. So what I've done is, rather than going automatic, I've reduced it to plus 45 kilograms of nitrogen. And this is why I said I'll need to come back and spray the field anyway. So I may as well spray all of it to try and get perfectly perfect. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, I was watching a YouTuber called Ambiguous Amphibian, and I got recommended him because he plays City Skylines, which other YouTubers that I watch play, and I occasionally watch City Skylines videos. And he was playing Project Zomboid, and I thought that looks kind of cool. And I really enjoy listening to zombie fiction. So I thought, it wasn't very expensive, so I bought it last weekend, maybe the weekend before. I suck at it so badly. I'm getting better slowly, but yeah, it's quite nice to switch off to. So I think we just had, so I need a roller, and there is a roller in the sale. So I'm going to pick that up. It's smaller than I would like, but we can't really afford to buy the big one anyway, and I don't have any modded ones installed. So we'll get that for 26 grand. It's going to do a job, and that's the main thing. Again, because I'm doing only arable farming at the moment, I really want to focus on the processes. That probably means, yes, I should have a mulcher. If we can pick up a decent size one for a decent price, I will over long term, yes, we'll be picking up a mulcher. We may as well try, if I'm worrying about perfect fertilization, I may as well do all of the steps. So we'll get there on that, and you can see the difference in fertilizing level in the window there between automatic and not automatic. The one of the combines is almost finished on course plate, the other one is a few minutes away from finishing, so that contract is nearly done, which is cool. Obviously soybeans we won't be selling until summer, but that'll be a nice bit of income in the summertime. Yeah, so I've been kind of occasionally playing it and dying a lot and being turned into a zombie a lot. But it's just something a bit different, and kind of nice to just throw a game on and go bash some skulls in sometimes. You know, ever feel like that? Ever feel like just going and bashing some skulls in? Yeah, it doesn't require me to think too much, which is nice. This is a longer video than I would normally do like this, so I normally aim for about half an hour like this. If I'm doing the almost live, it's what I call ones where I'm talking as I play, they're generally more like an hour. This series is going to vary between the two. You know, some will be like this. It just depends on timing and stuff. So this week is pretty busy. So by this point I will have been in the office for the day, and I'm back in the office tomorrow. That means there won't be a stream Thursday night because it's going to be a long old day tomorrow, and by the time I get back, even if I'm home in time, I'm not going to want to stream. So bit frustrating that we've missed a couple of weeks. I think the guys are maybe traveling for FarmCon anyway, or close to. I don't think Paul is planning to stream before FarmCon now, so that might be a non-issue anyway. And it is FarmCon next week, which I've not looked, but I'm hoping Giants are going to stream a fair bit of it. I watched most of what they streamed last year. I find it quite interesting. A lot of it's not aimed at your average player. A lot of it's aimed at modders or, you know, that kind of thing. But I find them really interesting. Yeah, some of you might say, well, you're a modder. But I don't consider myself a modder. I dabble in that kind of thing. Mainly because occasionally things don't exist that I want. So I try and make them exist within my incredibly limited skill set. So, yeah. Some of them I'm actually amazingly closing in on 1 million downloads on ModHub, which is pretty nuts. I also passed 1 million YouTube views last week, which is also pretty nuts. And actually, something that I haven't mentioned in a while, at the start of this year, I said when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I would do a giveaway. I am closing in on 5,000 subscribers. I am now 600-ish away, and it's going up quite steadily. So I think I worked out that it's a couple of months away still, I think, at least. And I don't know what the giveaway will be at that point. But yeah, we are closing in on 5,000 subscribers now. Subscriber count matters less in YouTube land these days. There was obviously, well, I don't know because I wasn't doing YouTube so much back then. There was a period where, let's ignore the magical 1,000/500 now, although 500 nowhere near what you get from 1,000 subscribers. Ignoring the magical boundaries that YouTube put in place for monetization, the way the almighty algorithm works these days, or the last time that I looked at it, and from my own understanding as a consumer of YouTube, subscribing matters less than watching videos that you like and clicking like on them and commenting on them, because the YouTube algorithm works It works for YouTube, obviously, because it wants to encourage you, the viewer, to keep watching, to watch one more video. But it also works for the viewer. So, and I see this in some of the channels that I'm subscribed to, but don't get videos recommended for because I don't watch them anymore. And so typically YouTube will recommend to you videos of creators that you regularly watch, the ones you interact with, and then videos that it determines somehow are similar. And it really doesn't matter if you're subscribed or not. There are a bunch of YouTube channels that I watch that I thought I was subscribed to, that I have never clicked subscribe on, but still, every time they release a new video, I get a recommendation for them because I am watching them and YouTube sees that I enjoy them. So it was kind of an arbitrary goal that I set. I thought it would be quite an interesting one. And it does lead to another question. So the soybean harvest has finished and everything is on its way back with auto drive. I did forget to pick up the corn header, so I had to send one of the combines back, but everything's on its way back and we are nearly finished. So yeah, two very different people, one of which was a friend, prompted me to be pondering how big would I like my YouTube channel to be. And I was thinking about this in the shower this morning, just to freak you out. You don't have to think about me in the shower if you don't want to. And so obviously I am closing in on the 5,000 goal that I set. I will probably set myself a target of 10,000. It's a target that I don't feel I can influence personally. I can't make people subscribe to my channel. People subscribe if they enjoy and they want to. I'm just going to keep making the videos I make, and I just hope that through natural growth I'll get to these targets. You know, it's not like I can do that extra bit and make more people click the button. I can just keep making videos that I think are interesting and entertaining, and eventually it spreads. But yeah, I was kind of pondering in the shower how big I would. I think actually no, the question that I was pondering was, what's too big actually? So we've finished with the seeding now, so we can take this back to the yard. And you know, I think probably, so be clear, I don't ever aspire to have this as a job. This is my hobby. So, next thing we need to do is, I had all the soybeans delivered down to the silo so that if for whatever reason I had to leave the game, if we'd harvested enough, the contract didn't randomly finish. And I also didn't have the delivery point set in auto drive. It's one of the ones I haven't used, so that also is another reason I did it. Yeah, it's what's too big was more what I was thinking. So I do not want this to become a job. It's my hobby. I have a job that is really interesting and that I enjoy, even though I whinge about it sometimes. I would never trust switching from my regular day job to YouTube to pay my bills, particularly as we are a one-income family. So we just need to now extend the auto drive network forwards. Yeah, so I have no ambitions to become a full-time YouTuber. Honestly, don't think it would happen anyway. I'm far too stuck in how I do things, and I don't want to change to be more popular. But the question is, what's too big? And I think, you know, I love the small community that I have. I love that most of the, you know, most of the people that regularly engage with the videos, I know who they are, I recognize their names, I chat to a bunch of you on Discord, all that kind of thing. I'd much rather have that than a channel that was so big that I couldn't interact with people. And I have a very definite limit on how much peopleage I can cope with. And I think probably by the time I got to maybe 20,000 subscribers, I'd be approaching that limit. I'm not sure, it might change, but you know, that feels for me like it feels a long way off. And B, it feels like at that point, it would probably be approaching the limit of what I could deal with as a person who sometimes struggles to deal with people. So yeah, it was interesting to ponder. I definitely, yeah. So you don't need to take another full load to deliver. I think it was about 12.8, something like that. So 12.6. So yeah, that will finish up, and we've got 8,500 litres to sell when the price peaks. So that's going to be an extra 15 grand on the contract, maybe more, 15, 20 grand on the contract, which is really nice. Should be a nice midsummer boost. Yeah. So one of the many random things that people prompt me to think about. I'm not sure if the bay next door is some sort of production or somewhere you can buy from. I've not looked in detail, got to admit. So we've now earned a 20% discount from Broadland Agri. So I now understand how the discounts work. Thank you, Mark, for having a... I don't know if you went... So 9 grand for that contract. I don't know if you went and had a look or if you just knew. Because I was confused that... I thought it was per field, and I was getting confused that I was getting bigger discounts on some fields than I had some jobs on. The discount is with the farmer. So, and because there are only about... I think there are 5 or 6 NPC farmers on here. There are a few that we've done quite a few jobs for now. So what I'm not sure of, and I don't think Mark was sure either, was if when we buy a field, whether we effectively use up that discount and it resets to 0. I've not done any testing on that, so we will see. So let's get this field rolled in. Hopefully we've got time to do this before the end of the day. I don't know what the next jobs are on here. We've got in November to harvest the corn still, and actually using time-saving stock check, the bank account is looking pretty healthy. The cash is not, but the kind of the future value. Sorry, I needed a drink. It's a long time to talk continuously. The future value of the farm is looking pretty good, actually. I think we've got 500 odd thousand in crop stored between the silo and the bales. So, and we've got one more field to... It's not a huge field. The cornfield is not huge. I am not sure how much we'll actually get off of it, but it's all cash coming in. So I've been shopping around for fields and I'm torn. There are a couple of grass fields just kind of tucked in between 8 and 9 and 5, so probably right in front of us. Is there grass fields in front of us? I'm not entirely sure. And I could easily afford to buy both of those. We don't have any grass working kit yet. In theory, I could just plough the grass in and stick with the arable crops. The other option is to the north of our fields. So just across the other side of the main road, there are a couple of fields we could look at buying. The bit I need to consider is whether I want to pick fields from farmers that have discounts on them. Obviously with precision farming, it's which fields are going to give us the best yields at the moment. playing with crop rotation, I should probably consider what crop they've just had in them as to how that fits in with A, our crop rotation that we've got planned, and B, the, maximising the yield. As I buy more fields, I am going to add more crops into the rotation, I think. So at the moment, I think I've got 4 fields and 5 crops in rotation. And probably what I'll do is each time I buy a field, I'll add a crop to the rotation so that we keep expanding that. I think that'll be good. And it means there'll always be a crop that we're not harvesting. So there's a little bit of a shower coming through. So I'm going to keep working. It's only an hour, I think, if that. So it's not going to get too wet. We'll plough on. I'm going to speed the time up a bit just so the rain passes over. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to... I don't think I need to plough 10. I think if we have a direct drill, I'm just going to direct drill into it. But it's likely... Trying to remember what crops... I don't remember what crops going in there. I need to check whether I can direct drill that or not, or whether over the winter we're going to have to plan to cultivate that field. It's going to be a big old job. It's going to be a big old job. Yeah. That'll probably be some off-camera work, I think. Actually, someone asked, again, if you're new, you won't have seen this. When I was playing on Maypole, I occasionally did some bird's eye footage or some picture-in-picture footage. I haven't abandoned that. It's just not always easy to set up to record. So it uses 2 computers. And I found that I had hoped that I could control the second one remotely with some remote desktop software to manage positioning the recording view and recording it. But it really struggled to work. So I generally need to be sat at my desk to set up and do that. So you might see it on here actually, because I am recording more of these sat at my desk. So might be that I pull in the drone shot for some of these. Might be quite cool. We'll see. We have great demand at East Coast Grain, so I am actually I was going to obviously plow on through, roll on through, not plow on through, we're not plowing, and finish this rolling up. But I want to take a quick peek at the great demand. So if we go into, the easiest way to check this is time saving stock check, and it is sunflowers, and geez, that's a good price. That's going to give us, was that 80 grand more than best price if I sell all the sunflowers? I think that we need to switch jobs and get those sunflowers sold. So we'll jump in. I keep saying 72.40. It's a 72.30. Oh well. We are going to jump in the 72.30. We're going to grab the 2 Richard Western trailers. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that one of them has a hitch on the back. And we're going to get all these sunflowers sold. We've got a lot of sunflowers. So we had that huge field 10. Our biggest field had sunflowers in. And I've done, I think, 3 sunflower contracts. At least 2. So we do have a lot of sunflowers in stock. So that is going to bring in a heck of a lot of cash. So possibly next video we could be looking at buying our new field. Or fields, depending on which size we go for. So now I could maybe sneak a field that's got a crop in it still. There are some fields that are still not ready to harvest yet, and that would mean we make back some of the money that we spend on it. It's probably not going to be in great condition. It's probably going to be low. I wonder if we could sneak some fert on it next video as well. We should definitely have a look at that in the next video. If I can get a field that's growing, get it soil sampled, get it fertilized, unless it's got soybeans in it, and doesn't need fertilizer. We have £283,000. Well, plus we've got some in the trailer. A lot of money coming in. Yeah, I think next time we will be finding a field to buy with a crop growing in it, because there will be crops that get like the cornfield we have, we get harvest ready for November, get it soil sampled, get it fertilized, get more cash back. That means we're, if I can do that, essentially we're getting another small discount on the cost of the field because it's got a crop in it that we weren't expecting. I was not expecting to be able to sell these until winter time, so that is a real bonus. I think actually sunflowers were, as we were harvesting, the price was okay, and I was half tempted to sell them off the field, and I'm kind of glad I didn't now. This is a massive boost at this point for us. So there's our cornfield. That will hopefully be harvest ready next month. Otherwise, it's going to have to be ploughed in because it will wither the month after that. If it is, I guess. I'm actually really pleased with where we're going to end up financially with this. I'm going to hang on to the loans. The contracting, we'll have to keep enough in the bank to pay for the loan payments, but I think the contracting is going to enable us to keep paying the loans at least until the next harvest. And what I might end up doing is making some bulk payments off the loans as we have bigger hits of cash come in, but I'm not planning to instantly pay the loans off. We need to take advantage of those to have as much land as possible, and it may even be that if the cash flow is going okay, we'll borrow even more, because the more land we own, the more we can make, and the more we make, the easier it will be to get to the goal. So back up a little bit more, so 7.5 grand at first, so we were on 38, I think, ish. Should have made a note of that, but I think we were on about 38,000 when we started this process. So we are going to be making a fair bit of cash, and this was kind of unexpected as I was playing. We're so new now, but yeah, it's like 80 grand for the first load. I took my pad of post-it notes downstairs yesterday to finish editing a video, and yeah, it was a bit annoying. Anyway, at this point, I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. You are all really darn awesome. If you're interested in any of those, there are links and information below. And thank you to those of you that just watch the videos. You are also kind of awesome. Second load, I don't remember how many trailers this was. It was quite a few. So we've already made 100 grand. And I think it was like 300 of we were going to make out of this, which is going to pay for a decent sized field. And it's just a case of picking one that has a crop in potentially, and if not, is going to get us a good return. So I want something with decent soil, really, and ideally something that we've earned a discount on. So many factors to weigh up, but I'll work something out. It's not actually the next gameplay video I need to record, so it'll probably be the weekend before that's sorted, I would imagine. But yeah, we're making a decent amount of money. I would like to get another bigger Richard Western trailer. There was one in the sales actually, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. I am keeping an eye on the sales a lot, because the more I can get in the sales, because we're not leasing kit, early on, if I'm more flexible about what I buy, then I can get more kit, which is going to make it easier to progress. So that's the logic anyway. We'll see how it pays out. I'm not going to be able to get everything in the sales. What I can. The Richard Westons are very nice trailers. And obviously being a fan of Ollie Vlogs and Tom Pemberton. I haven't watched Ollie Vlogs in a while, actually. I've been watching Tom Pemberton a bit. So he's, yeah. There's been, of 22,000 litres. So this is the last trailer load. We will get this sold, and we are currently nearly 300 grand up. Really nuts. Really nuts. And this is just one of the crops. It's the crop we had the most of, and it's one of the most profitable crops that would appear. So let's get this sold and see what we're going to end up with. We're going to get another 30 odd grand, something like that. And we'll have a decent amount of cash in the bank next time. Almost Cartech rich. It won't last. It won't last. It will be spent very quickly. Yeah. About 377,000. So nice. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, stick them below, and I will see you next time.